Between the 16th and 19th of July, BoardGameCon was held in Seoul. This is Korea's biggest board game convention. And I was able to attend, luckily, for 3 of the days. And I want to share with you some of my experience, what it was like, who I think would best enjoy the con, as well as share my haul around sort of what games I picked up and what I recommend. So stick with me as I talk you through BoardGameCon 2026. Let's go.
We're bored in Korea, but never bored. Every game played, every victory scored. 모여라 for the win, lose, or glory. Let's tell those K-board game stories.
So firstly, I was able to attend for 3 days, and I had 3 really different experiences. That's because on the first day I attended solo, and I went around, and that's when I did a lot of my purchasing, where I was able to check out a lot of the deals and get around to as many vendors as possible. Day 2, I attended with my whole family as well as some family friends and their children. So we were there with children ranging from the age of 5 through to 11, as well as a number of adults, all trying to sort of work our way through together to find activities to do. And then on the final day that I attended on the Saturday, I took just my son, 10-year-old son, and his friend with us. And so, again, a very different experience. And I really enjoyed every single one of them. Day 1, the shopping, the deals, they're real, great deals. If you're interested in picking up good board games at a great price, this con everywhere seemed to have discounts from usually around 30% all the way up to, I don't know, 50, 60, 70% on a lot of games. Particularly the bigger brands like Korea Board Games, Mandu Games, Happy Baobab. So there were plenty of deals to be had. So if you're just planning to attend because you want to pick up some good games at good prices, I think it's a great reason to go. The Thursday was quite crowded. I do actually think it was one of the busier days. I thought because it was the only day that wasn't on a holiday, because the Friday was a public holiday here, and then it was the weekend. I thought it'd be the busiest day, the quietest day. And I think, looking back, maybe the Friday was slightly busier, but I do want to give props to the organisers of BoardGameCon because it never felt like overwhelmingly crowded. There's a lot of events you can attend in Korea, particularly family-friendly events, that become so overwhelmingly popular that you just feel uncomfortably crowded, and I never felt that way. The process for getting in, so the pre-registration process was very easy, provided you have a Korean phone number. That's the only caveat. So I was able to just scan my QR code and get a ticket, get the wristband. That also applied, so you just went and picked up wristbands for children there, so you didn't have to pre-register them. So yeah, that process all very smooth. The only line I experienced to get in was at 10 a.m. I didn't arrive at 10 a.m. on the other day, so just the Thursday, there was quite the queue to get in, but that cleared up in the first 20 minutes, and then everyone dispersed through the entire con. So I think like really well run. It's really well set up. Day 2, we attended with our broader family, and I mean, it was a bit like herding cats, I have to admit, but that's just going out with that range of young people, kids. But like we were able to get around and try out a bunch of games that day. I want to shout out Maisling Games again. I think I've done it in a couple of videos, but the guy was so patient and incredible with the kids, and they had a ball there working through those puzzles. I think this is one of the best cons that I've been to, where they put so many games on tables that you can go and test. I was like interested before I attended that there wasn't a play area, right? A game, like a games library where you could go and test out and try the games. I thought that was like an interesting thing. I was like, oh, how will that work? Every single one of the stalls pretty much had a spot where you could, at least a small table where you could come and try at least 1, 2, 3, 10 of their games. Asthma Day Korea just had so many games on the table around it. The other one who had lots of tables out with all their games on it, was Magic Bean Games. They had great amount of table space, and Happy Baobab had a huge play area actually where you could go and play all their areas. But they also had all these tables set up, smaller stand tables where you could just try the games quickly, and then they had people teaching games throughout. I do think if you don't speak Korean, it's still a tricky con to get along to if you want to be taught games. There obviously isn't an expectation that people speak English when you attend a con like that. But in saying that, there definitely were English-speaking people that were demonstrating and teaching some of the games. So there were a couple of games where I wasn't 100% sure, and someone came over and explained to me in English. But I also think that there's so many accessible games, and I do think one thing that Korea does is they release a lot of games that are language independent, and then they have a huge range of games and designers and publishers that focus on all different niches. So from mystery games, heavy Euro games, all the way through to very children's games. They were all there, so you can find plenty of games to play, and I think that is one of the draw cards for this convention, is you can test out so many games and be taught a lot of different games. Day 3 actually was probably the game where we played the most games, because there were just the 3 of us, my son and his friend. They actually speak a lot better Korean than I do, so they actually were able to learn some of the games in Korean from the people teaching the games. So we were able to just go from game to game to game, to spot to spot to spot. I don't know how many they played or together we played, but it was really fun day. If you are going to head along to BoardGameCon, I think expect quite a busy convention, but not crazy. I do think you can get around, and we were able to find tables quite easily in each place that we could play a game at. It wasn't always being able to just go straight to the game that you wanted to try out. You might have had to wait 1 or 2 people or bounce around a few before you could get to the one you wanted. But to be honest, it was a lot easier than I was expecting to be able to get to some of those tables. Probably the only thing that was that could be slow was if you were buying games at specific booths or specific times. The line to get to pay for the game could be quite long. So some of the booths, even though they were incredibly popular, very a lot of people wanting to pick up titles, had only one checkout or 2, and the line was quite long often to be able to get through that process. So if you are going to buy games and there's specific publishers that you want to pick it up from, it's possible that you may have to wait 15, 20 minutes in the queue to pay for the games. Going around and selecting them, not a problem. But sometimes the lines were quite long for that. I do think by the Saturday, the whole convention actually had gotten quieter again. And I didn't go on the Sunday, so I don't know what it was like. But it did feel like Friday was the busiest day. Thursday was quite busy, particularly, I think, with people wanting to come and shop and to pick up titles. Some titles did run out. I know that PI, for instance, ran out after the first day. I think they might have had a small amount of stock each day that they brought in, but every time I went past on the Friday and the Saturday, it was sold out. So lots of games that people were after. But so they're my main takeaways. I highly recommend this con if you are going to international cons around the world and trying and seeing what they're like in other countries is something that's on your list of things you'd like to do. I would be prioritizing this as a great one, particularly if you're a family. But to be honest, I think people of all walks of life would have a great time there, just because it was so family friendly. Koreans are really warm and welcoming, and I think they're so happy to see people interested in their publishers and the games that they're bringing out. So check it out, BoardGameCon. That's enough rambling from me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to the table and I'm going to show you the games that I picked up at BoardGameCon. I'll explain a little bit about the games. I've been able to play pretty much everything except for one game, and then I haven't played all of the pieces of the expansion that I picked up. But what I'll do is I'll get it on the table. I'll explain how everything works a bit. I wouldn't be using any of this as a way to learn how to play the games. I possibly am making a fair few rule errors because I am often working off translated rules or a half understanding of an explanation that I got at the con. So bear with me, but these are the games that I picked up. This is my BoardGameCon 2026 board game haul. Let me know in the comments below if there's any of the games, if you've picked any of them, if you like any of them, or if you're planning to get any of them. I'm really happy with the games that I've picked up. The fact that I've already been able to get so many of them played with my family tells me that they're a really good fit, and I'm really looking forward to getting some more plays out of them. So let's go. Let's head to the table. So right here I have a game I picked up from BoardGameCon. This one is called Play Jeju. That's always been the title in Korea, but previous versions were released in English under the name Jeju Island. And so this is a Mancala style game where you're doing set collection. Let me just try and get this open. You're using a Mancala mechanic to go around the board of Jeju Island to collect different resources to do the cards. So this is pretty cool. This one, I like some of the additional detail. They've worked with this artist Weird Dolls to do all the art for this, and they've got a little storybook, a sticker book that my daughter's already started rating the stickers for, rule book, and then here's the board. So I'll just move this out of the way so I can show this off. But I really like the artwork on this version. The Weird Dolls artwork is just really pops for me and sort of goes along very well with the cozy vibe of this game. So how this game's going to work is you've got these tokens here, and these tokens will be, I won't fully set it up, but they're going to be around the board on these places. Let's just say, so I think you actually stack 11 of these up in each spot to evenly distribute them across the whole thing. And then you've got that. You got this little guy here. I forget what he's called, but this like little fella, he sort of works his way around the board. And you've got these Jeju stones, which is pretty cool. They're done sort of like that volcanic Jeju rock. If anyone's been there or seen any of the sort of statues that are built from Jeju, they'll know them. And everyone's going to get the 2 of these tokens along with, which I can't see where it is. Oh, well, that's 2 of these tokens along with one just so that you can put it in front of you, denoting sort of who you are. And then they're going to go on the board, and players are going to take turns sort of putting these out. And then on your turn, like I mentioned, you're going to use a Mancala mechanic. So you're basically going to, let's say, move these across, and whoever has a piece showing is going to be able to pick up from the location that they're at. So as the orange one's the only one with a spot showing, they get to take these resources. Now, on this turn, only the orange was showing, but let's say we progress for the next turn. So you can only move a pile where your token is. In this situation, the green player is going to get this token, but I'll still, as the orange player, collect this token. And so why are you collecting these tokens? They're not just collecting them because they're cute little images. You're collecting them because you want to trade them in for points. So there's different point scoring cards that you can get by trading in the token. So there's ones like this one here that are just pure points. So if you can get these 4 specific tokens and any random token, you can get 7 points for this one. There's some that are going to give you points and enable you to move this guy around. And I'll explain this guy in a second, but basically that's what that one will do. But then there's also these ones that have a very small point value, but they'll give you an ongoing resource. So think similar to like Splendor or even Seven Wonders, where when you purchase this, you'll then have a permanent carrot in this case. But yeah, so you can get different ones. So this one's a permanent Twedgy Pig. You'll collect these so that you can build a bit of an engine that enables you to get points. So I will explain. So there's this guy here. If you finish your turn in a way, let's say I moved this one. Actually, this will do it. If you finish your turn in a way that you finish on the spot where this guy is, where he's at, you will first take the token of the spot, but then you also can either take another token from that spot, or you can move him to a new location
let's say here, and you can take the one from there. So that just gives you a bit more flexibility. And then some of these cards allow you to move him or to be able to grab a token from where he is as well. So just a little bit more flexibility in how you score. So that might be why these might have a bit smaller of a score, because you can get more tokens that can get more things. So you'll play this until a specific number of piles, depending on the player count, have been depleted, or if this deck runs out, you also will end the game. So yeah, very simple, I would say cozy style game, where you are going around collecting different tokens. It can get a little bit mean, so you can block people a fair bit. I think in the 2-player game in particular, it can be quite frustrating if for multiple turns you've been sort of covered up by tokens. So like in this situation, I wouldn't be getting anything. I do think it balances out. I found in a more multiplayer game, you do get blocked more, but I think like it just feels like that's the case for everyone more. And so it feels like less brutal if you get blocked. But anyway, really fun, enjoying this one with my family. That is Play Jeju from Happy Baobab. Here we have another game that I picked up from BoardGameCon here in Seoul. It's called Matchy Matchy. It's a re-implementation of an older game called Compatibility. And I really like the packaging and how they've sort of put this together. But ultimately, it is very similar to the original version. It's 3 to 8 players. Plays about 30 minutes. And it's kind of a party style game in the sort of vein, I would say, of Dixit and those sort of like games where you've got to try and sort of understand the other people at the table. And so how it works is everyone is going to, by the way, like I said, the packaging is so good. So what you've got here, this is your little fork tokens. I imagine the box is this size, not because it needs the forks, but because that's how it can fit in this box. But basically, everyone's going to get a fork that's around the table. So we'll just put these here. And I'm just going to pull out 2 decks, but you can have a quick look. This, I guess the artwork on these boxes doesn't necessarily match the photos in each box, but every single one of these boxes of cards has the same deck of photo cards in it. But just so that you can know whose is whose, they've got their own individual sort of back on them. So this is, I'll just show you the art on all of them, each of them. So let's grab out, I'll just grab out let's do the hot dogs. Although, what colors have I used here actually? Let's do the pickles. So first of all, I'll show you in the pickle box the different cards. So you can see these are very like generic, almost stock type photos, but I think really carefully chosen so that you can fit with what's on the cards that you need to score. So like I said, so that every single one of these has a similar deck. So what you're going to have is you've got all these word cards. Now these ones are in Korean, which is I guess helpful for me trying to learn Korean, but I mean, if you pick up a Korean version, you can easily translate these. So how it will work is you've got this deck of cards, and someone's going to choose a number between 1 and 12, and you're going to flip the card over. So let's say I choose the number 12, and we flip it over, and that is the word imshin. I think I'm saying that right, imshin, which means pregnant in Korean. So what I'm going to do is now, my partner and I, let's say I partner up with the hot dog, we are going to go through and we're going to search for, in this round here, we're going to search for 5 cards. So I'm going to search through this deck and try and find something that represents pregnant. So there's a baby. Let's have a look. What else? Probably not going to choose cigarettes and coffee. Pregnant. Maybe the teddy bear, because babies like teddy bears. There's a kid with the father. I don't know if that's, I guess this is like a doctor. So maybe like the doctor. Here's some kids. Pregnant. Maybe you get some flowers when you're pregnant. And then there's a kid. And then how many is that? Yeah, so that's too many. So let's say These are the 5 that this person chose. But at the same time, the hot dog person is also going to be going through their cards. And so they might go through and they might think, oh, yeah, these kids, I mean, you call everyone maybe when you're pregnant. I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch, but they might do that. They've got this one here with the father and the daughter. When maybe they look at this one and go, oh, shotgun wedding. I don't know. And well, they need one more. They also find this baby one. Okay. So then, at the same time, secretly, what we're going to do is we have to line them up. Okay? And so they might be like, well, I think this is the one that most represents the word pregnant, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. And at the same time, I'm also going to be lining up my ones. I think actually probably this way, but and this one, oh, actually they might put the doctor one here, this one here, and this one here. And at the same time, what you're going to do is you're going to flip over cards to see. Okay, so in this situation, we both flipped over the same card and it's in the same spot. So we will get 3 points each. Let's say we're these 2 colors. 1, 2, 3 for that being in the same location, same card. Here, I think we got different ones. Oh, people are going to not like me bending these, but I got no fingernails. This one we flip over. So we've also not got that one right. Oh, we flip this one over. Oh, not the same. And we flip this one over. And look at that. We got the same one, but it's in a different location. So in that situation, you're going to get 2 points each. And you'll just play moving around this board. There is a bit of a catch-up mechanic. So as you get further along, you might get to this spot. You actually, on your turn, you'll only get to play 3 cards if you're here, 4 cards if you're here, and so on. Some of them 2, 1 if you're all the way down here. And then you play until you get to the very end. So really fun, easy sort of like talking around the table sort of game. I think it creates a lot of conversations. Like if I saw this, I'd be like, why did you choose the mobile phone or the father and the daughter? It's pregnant. It's not parenthood. What's going on? So yeah, great for like just having a good time with your friends around the table. So that is Matchy Matchy. This is a game my family have been playing a lot of since I picked it up from BoardGameCon, actually only last week when I'm filming this. It's called Omok Chess, and it's a mix of Korean game Omok, which is 5 in a row, and chess. And I think it's a really cool combination, which we're still really trying like to come to grips to with like how we actually use the chess part of it. Effectively, my wife and some of our friends are very good Omok players. Sometimes they just win playing just standard Omok. And so I'm really trying to work out how I can really push the game with the added chess rules. People around the table have had a few wins where they've used the chess pieces. So I'm just going to set it up quickly. Basically, each player is going to get some Omok tiles, but then some of the Omok tiles have a special chess piece on it. And they're going to go on this board in the designated spot for each of them. And through the magic of editing, I am going to have this set up when you come back. Okay, so this is the game set up. It's a 2-player game. And so each player is going to get their 4 chess pieces. You can't see it, apologies, but everyone has 5 of these purple engine sort of tokens. Now these are the engine for allowing you to be able to use the chess pieces. I'll explain that in a second. And then yeah, they've got their piles of Omok pieces, and then these little crowns that are used to show when you get an Omok or a 5 in a row. So I might just quickly explain Omok. So Omok is a very simple game where you will be placing out these tiles and you have to get 5 in a row. So it might be a diagonal 5 in a row like this, but you're placing on the corners of these squares and trying to get 5 in a row. But, of course, it's not that simple, because when you play a tile, the other person's going to be trying to block you and trying to prevent you from scoring that 5 in a row. And so it's a really nice back and forth strategic game where you are trying to outwit the other player and trying to get that 5 in a row. So let's say I missed this. I dropped that one there. Then I'm going to put this here. Yeah, anyway, so you're trying to get that 5 in a row from the other place. So that's just straight Omok or 5 in a row. In this version, there's a little added element that when you place out one of these tiles on the board, you then get to place one of these sort of engine tiles. So you'll place this out. Now, at the start of the game, you can't really do anything with them until you get 3 of them available. So let's just progress this game so that everyone has 3 of these out. And in that situation, once you get 3 of these here, instead of placing from your pool, you can place one of these chess pieces out. So let's say that on this one, I'm going to place this one here. Let's put it here. And so that's to place it. Now, as the game progresses, people might place out more tiles and you'll get more of these out here. And once you get 2 of these on here, or like you can use it once you've got more than 2, you can move them. So I might get to the situation. Let's just make it a bit like this. Let's probably would go there. Let's make it like this. You might get to the situation like this, something like this. And so I might actually want to move this. Now the queen, this is a queen tile. It moves very similarly to a queen in chess. So you can move diagonally or straight lines with this one. The bishop is going to work like a bishop in chess, so it can move diagonally. And the rook can only move along straight lines. And the knight can only move like a knight in normal chess. So it moves in that sort of L shape, up and across. So yeah, so that's how they work. So let's say you're here. Where did it was here. And so on my turn, I can spend these 2 to move this here. Now, that's probably not the most optimal way. Let's say there was a situation where it was like this, and I had these 2 on here. I could then move this off, and I could actually take this, which then gives me a 5 in a row. Now I'd give that back to them, and I would mark that 5 in a row. One thing though now is that's stuck in there, and you can't use it anymore. If there's a situation where someone has one of these out and they take, so this guy has this out, and he takes my one of these, it's then going to go here off the board, so they don't get it back. And so that's how the game works. You play until somebody can achieve 2 sets of 5 in a row, and that ends the game. Very simple, really fun, highly recommend it. Pick it up if you can. Omok Chess, a great combination of 2 great abstract strategy games from Magic Bean Games. Here's another game I picked up from BoardGameCon. It's called Style Master, and it's a 2-player, again, abstract game in which you are racing other players to be able to match the pattern on these really cool pieces of silk. So let me get it out. I'm just going to grab out one set to just show off the game. So you'll have 2 of these silks here, 1 for each player, but I'm just going to put this one away. Now I can see that my kids have been playing this a fair bit because it looks like they've treated this piece of fabric like they treat their clothes and just somehow smudged stuff all over it. But at least it is a game I feel like I can probably wash the fabric and clean it. But yeah, you just have to bear with the fact that there's it looks like chocolate or something on there. Anyway. So basically how the game works is you will be flipping over these tiles and you have to search around this piece of fabric to try and match the pattern that it has on there. So that one wasn't too hard. That one I was able to get to match up pretty easily. But so there's pants and then there's jacket tiles as well. So let's have a look at this one. And let's see if I can get this one to match again. I think this one's a pretty straightforward one like this. Oh, but let's check. So then I would ding the bell, but actually I've got it wrong because it's backwards. So I need to flip it over and then hit the bell. And so basically it's very simple. You're racing to match these patterns with what you're finding on here, and then to ring the bell as fast as you can when you do achieve it. Person who scores the most of them wins the game. Very straightforward. It's just really light and fun. I think the reason it's covered in a bit of chocolate is it's a really easy one for my kids to be able to pull out by themselves, and they don't need an adult with them while they play it. Although maybe I just need to check that they have not... Let's see if I can get this one here that's here. Is that the right way? Yeah. Oh, no, that's wrong. Oh, there we go. Ooh, where's the white with the... Ooh, how did they do this? Aha. Here we go. I think it is this way. That one got me. So yeah, so there's some that are trickier than others, and I'm sure there's people who are a lot quicker and better at this game. But mostly my kids are really enjoying playing it. So yeah, if you get a chance, this one is called Style Master. Another game I picked up from BoardGameCon is this one here. It's called Bookshelf. Really simple dexterity type game in which you are building a bookshelf using these books, and these, let's empty it out. These are different shelves. So this is the starting one here. There's 2 levels you can play on. So you can play on the easy side, which has 3 spots that you start with, or you can play on the hard side. I am terrible at dexterity games, so why don't we just start off on the easy side. So it's telling me I need to have 3 books, and those 3 books need to be touching these X's. And what's going to happen is on someone's turn, someone's going to get to look at 2 of these, and then they get to decide which one they want to place. So let's say that I go with this one here, which is going to require 2 of these purple books. Oh no, 3 of these purple books can read, and 1 of these red ones. You're then going to place it on top. I think the cat's actually meant to be in here as well. Apologies. This little cat. And then on your turn, if you're working together, you'll allocate these out, and people need to place them on at the same time. But if you're playing by yourself, I believe you can just put them on your individually. And if there's an X, you need to make sure that it is covered. But I might just put this over here like this first. Oh, I don't love that. Anyway, that's what that one's like. So let's just show what. So like again, I would get to choose between 2, but let's just fast forward a little bit. Sorry. Then you got to move the cat up. Let's say this is 1, and it needs 2 of these, and 1 of these thicker boys. So let's put that there, and you're just going to keep building this up. Oh. Moving the cat up a level, and if you can get 8 stories high, then you win the game. Oh man, I don't think that's going to happen though today, because I think this is falling pretty much straight. Oh no, that's all right. Let's move this guy up. Let's see how high I can get this. 2 of these and 1 of that. Okay, let's put these guys here. This guy on here. Oh, please don't fall. What am I up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I was meant to do that before, maybe. Okay, 1, purple 1. Or wait, they're different heights, are they? Okay. That seems crazy to me. Okay. But anyway, that is this very simple dexterity game where you're building a tower. It probably looks more impressive from in front, but at some stage it probably falls over like that. That is Bookshelf. Here are 2 games I picked up from BoardGameCon. I think there's a lot of coverage of this one, so this is Coffee Rush. You can watch a lot of videos on how to play. It's a similar sort of style game to if you've ever played any of those cooking games where you have orders building up. You need to fill up your different cups with the different ingredients. And you do that by moving your barista, I guess, around the board to collect the ingredients. You fill the cups up. Once you get enough ingredients to complete one of these cups, you'll flip it over. And then you can get some special powers that allow you to sort of move differently on here or collect more resources when you move around. And the person who completes the most orders, as well as who potentially has the most of these sort of special abilities is the winner. But these will tick down each turn, so it's also possible for you to get negative cards that basically people are not happy they didn't get their coffee in time. Really fun game that we picked up, but I actually picked this one up first, and then my kids had such a fun time with this one, which is a much simpler, straightforward game. I'll show you this one, that I had to pick up this version as well so that we could have the full game. So, but I won't go fully into it. Like I said, there's a lot of great videos out there how to play and information on this one here. It's been around for a while, and there's a couple of different versions of the game as well as an expansion. So lots in this one if you're interested. Coffee Rush. But I want to talk about this one here, Coffee Rush Grab and Go, which is a smaller version of the game. It's just cards, and it's very simple to play. Basically, all the ingredients are now on these cards here, and you are going to place these cards out like this. You then have these order cards that have a price value on them. And basically each player at the start of the game will take 2 of these ones. So let's say I take this one here. So what am I making? Espresso, doppio, and black tea. So everyone will have 2 cards. As part of setup, you'll then also have 3 piles that you can then pick the cards up from. These pink ones are harder, they're takeaway orders. They're a bit harder to fulfill, but they are generally worth a bit more. So basically what will happen is we'll say go, everyone will start flipping over cards one at a time, identifying, okay, so I don't have that. You probably don't want to take that much time. Oh, coffee, great. I need coffee for this one. So you'll take that one. I need steam for this one, great. I don't need ice. I need another coffee. Oh, order up, this one's complete. And so once I complete both of these orders, let's see if I can complete this other one. Oh man, no, this is not going well for me. I need tea and water. But everyone is doing this at the same time, flipping over cards, hoping that oh, water, come on, tea. Oh, there we go, tea and water. Once I've completed both of these, I can then take another order and try to complete it. And you'll play until somebody completes 5 cards, and then they'll shout Coffee Rush, and then everyone will need to stop. Anyone who hasn't finished 5 orders will get some negative points. Yeah, so you will score by how much money you've made. You'll check that it's correct, the order. Any mistakes, they'll lose 500 won per mistake. And then, yeah, the winner is the person who has made the most coffees for the highest value. Very simple, very easy. Great game to play with my kids because it's like it works for everyone's level. Just flipping cards over and matching them. But it's really fun, easy to get going. Plays in 15 minutes. I'd say that's accurate. And it plays 1 to 6 players. So great little box, beautiful art. It's just, yeah, good fun. Pick it up if you can. This is a board game that my daughter actually picked out at BoardGameCon. She was really keen to pick it up, I think because of the cupcake theme. And I thought maybe this is just a very kids game, but actually it's quite a smart puzzle style game that works in a really interesting way. If you've ever done that, like one of those games where you've got to move the rings across and try and get them in a specific order, that's what this game is. So this is Cupcake Academy. Let me show you how it works. So this is set up for a 2-player game. So you'll see the 2 on here. There's also set up basically for more players as everyone will get their 3 little trays, their own set of cupcake holders. You'll play with a different set of these cards. So for the 2-player game, we just have the blue ones, 3-player yellow and 4-player green. It shows more sort of setups that you need. So for now, they'll just go back in the box, and we'll just flip over this one just to show you how it works. You would normally use this timer and flip it over, and that's how long you have to try and complete a specific number. I believe it's 14 in a 2-player game that you're trying to complete. But I'll just put that away for now, and I'll explain how the game works. So what everyone has is they have these cupcake trays that are nesting in each other, smallest through to largest. And one of the main rules is a smaller tray can never sit on top of a larger tray, but you can always put a larger one on top of a smaller one. And so in this situation, what I'm trying to do is match what's on this board, which might actually be quite simple, maybe. We will see. So we've got to get to that blue one. We might do that, this. We've achieved this one here. Now you'll notice that I used this middle tray. Now this middle tray is called the shared tray, and each player can place a tile thing on here. They can take it off here, but I can never take one off the other. So if in a 2-player game, I would actually never be able to touch this person's board. They could place this here, and I could take it off of there, but that's the only way that we can actually pass to each other. Now, why might you need to do that? Let's try and find an example of one where you might need to do that. Here we go. So in this particular one, it wants 2 pink to be sitting on that side, and then I need a yellow and an orange on this side. So in order to do that, I actually need to pass my green over. I can get my my yellow one over here potentially. Let's do that. Let's move that like that. Okay, so this side's done, and then this one, you think, oh, it's done. I could just do this, but you can't have this in the middle. So actually, to achieve it, we probably need to do that. So that's how the game works. You're just going to work through together. So it's a cooperative game to try and achieve each one of these different challenges. And you've got a timer timing you how long it takes you, and you can see how many you can do. Some of them harder than others. Some will be harder depending on how the last one came up and where things are sitting. So Cupcake Academy, just a fun little puzzle game that is thinkier than what it looks like on the box. So if you enjoy that sort of working together to solve a puzzle, this one's one that you should probably have a think about picking up. This is a really cool thing that we picked up from BoardGameCon this year. It was a really cool booth from Mazeling Games, and it's these maze-style puzzles, folding puzzles that you can do. We picked up the level 2 puzzles, which are a bit trickier than I'm going to show you some examples. I haven't opened these yet because I want to open them when we're maybe on a flight or somewhere where we want to sit down together and do some puzzles. This one here is the level 2. This one's very interesting because it uses letters, and you've got to try and find out what the word is before you fold and try and work the order out. So that's pretty cool. And this one he actually gave us because we picked up a couple of these, some friends of ours and us, and this one's a team version where up to 4 people can work together to complete it. So, but what am I talking about? So I've got some examples that we picked up. He had an awesome booth, by the way, where people were able to just sort of work through as many of these as they wanted. I think my son was there for over an hour just doing puzzle after puzzle. But how this works is you anywhere where there's a line like this, you need to tear it or cut it. But basically, you're trying to get from the arrow to this square, and you need to follow in number order in this particular level. So this is the number 5 puzzle. So what I've got to try and do is I've got to try and get this arrow to the 1. So let's see. So the arrow folds in here, it goes to the 1, and then I follow that around to the 2. And then the 2 needs to then connect 3, 4, and you're working your way all the way up until you can get out after you've gone past the highest number, which on this one is 15 by the looks of it. So you would go 4, we fold that 4 down, that brings us into the 5. 5 brings us down 6, 7, 8. Let's get that 8 connected to that 9. So again, this is quite a simple one. They get quite challenging as you work your way up through the different puzzles. But yeah, so you'll just work your way through until you can get that 15 to come out through here. So Mazeling Games, really cool little puzzle thing. The guy running the Mazeling Games was incredible, really patient with the kids, helping them work through. He looked so busy, but just like in his element. So highly recommend, if you can get your hands on these puzzle style, these sheets, it's just such a fun thing. Like I said, I'm saving it. I think I want to do them on the plane when we fly somewhere because it's just something to entertain yourself with. That is Mazeling Games puzzles. Yeah, pick them up if you can. This is one of the more fun games I picked up, I thought, from BoardGameCon this year. This is Seoul gun themed board game, so themed after the prawn cracker chips that are very popular here in Korea. So I had to pick up this one. I just thought it looked really fun. And actually, it is quite cool. So you open up this packet. Okay, this is the game setup. Now you're going to have to bear with me. It's a bit tricky, this one, to sort of show on my own how to play it, but I'll see how I go. Basically how it works is on your turn, you're going to pick up the chip off the top of the pile and you're going to look at it secretly without showing anyone. This is a pretty good one. This is worth 7 points to you. So this one's pretty fun. So and then you're going to place it on the table without telling anyone, or maybe you can bluff, I don't know. You can tell people what you think it is. Then on the count of 3, so you're going to go 1, 2, 3, gung, and everyone has to put their finger on a chip by gung. So at the start, everyone's finger will be on this chip. If your finger is ever the only finger on a chip, after you say gung, you then claim that chip. But at the start, like I said, everyone's going to be on here. So then the next person's going to take the next one and they're going to have a look at it. Now this one's interesting. This one you score, so if you only have one of these chips with this symbol on it, you get 6 points. But if you get 2, it becomes -3. And then this card actually explains that if you then end up getting 3, you're going to have -3 plus 6 for 3 points. So you'll just keep working it through like that. So ideally, you just want one of them so you can get 6 points. But if you do end up getting a second one, it's not the end of the world. You probably want to try and get a third then to try and remove the negative points. So this one can be good, it can be bad. So let's say that person picks that one up. Everyone's fingers are on here. We go 1, 2, 3, gung, and they change. So now both players get to claim their chip. So that's pretty straightforward when it just comes to points. But there are some that give you special abilities. Let me just flip some of these over. So if you were to, let's say you were to flip this one over, you don't want it, you may actually choose to put your finger on someone else's chip that they flipped, but you don't really know if it's a good one or not. So you're kind of watching where other people are putting their fingers and what they're claiming. But the game has different chips. So like I said, so blue points are just going to be that you get positive points, so +3, +7, different amounts. Red cards are going to be a negative point. I already explained how this +6, -3 card works. So if you get 2, that's bad. If you only have 1, it's good. This one here will let you remove a chip, which can be good or bad. If you only have good chips, then you're going to have to remove one of your good chips. But if you have a negative chip, you can then use this to remove it. So you might want that. This black finger on the chip denotes that you can make someone lift their finger. So if you win that one, and there's 2 people touching a chip, you can actually make one lift their finger and then the other person gets that. And then the red finger is that you can lift, you have to lift your finger off of a chip, which can be good or bad. Generally it's probably bad, but there's ways you can sort of manipulate it so that you trick other people into taking a bad card with them thinking that they've got you. So yeah, very light, fun. I think more fun and more chaotic with more players. So up to the 6-player count is really good. It's just a bit wild, very swingy, but it's a light, fun filler game that I think people should check out if they get the chance. The theme is very fun, I think, and they gave me some free chips when I purchased it, so that's a bonus as well. Here is another game that I picked up from BoardGameCon. So this is another Seoul game. So this one sort of translates to shrimp chip grab, and this is more of an old maid style game. It's quite a simple game. It's 5+, 2 to 6 players, and it plays in 10 minutes. Like I said, old maid style. So if you're familiar with old maid, you will divide this deck up. You'll take the deck and you'll deal it out so that everyone gets about an even amount of cards. They don't have to be even, but basically you'll deal it out until everyone's got cards. You then are going to look at your hand and you are going to put down any pairs that you have in your hand. So you're going to go through. Now, oh, this has got 2 lots here. If I just had 3 of these 7s, I would only put down the pair. So let's say that 7 was there. I would only put down the pair and I'd have to keep the 3rd one in my hand. So I'm just going to put down all of the pairs that I have. Here we go, finding them quickly. I think there's an 11 and 11, 2 8s. So let's just, yeah, so there we go. I think that's all of them. Have I missed any? I think that's right. And so then basically how the game works is on your turn, you will steal a card from the person to your left, I believe. And so you will take it, let's say this is their hand. So I'll take a card from them. If it matches up with a pair, I take it and I do that. If, oh, that's another one. So let's just say in a later round, okay, so this one doesn't match up because, so that's one of the rules in the basic game. There are 4 of these cards, but in the basic game, you take one of them out of the game. So there shouldn't be another one of these, although I haven't done it. So there is probably another one in there. But you take one of these out. So you'll know that if you have this in your hand at the end of the game, you're going to lose. And the idea is you want to get rid of your hand fully, and you don't want to be the last one holding the wanted bird. But if you want to play a slightly more advanced game, what you'll do is you'll shuffle all 4 of these birds into the deck, and you will then shuffle it up, discard a card randomly, so you don't actually know which one of these cards is the one that's going to be not have a pair with it. But for this one, you know this. So you want someone to steal this then from your hand at some stage. You're hoping that you're not the one that's holding that at the end of the game. So, I mean, it's very light. It's a fair bit of luck, but I think it's a good game to play with young children and introduce them to some of these sort of mechanics of set collection and sort of thinking about how you want to have your turn. So this is it. Very straightforward, light little game, old made with the Korean shrimp chip theme. So yeah, if that interests you, that's it. This is an expansion to Hanyo Sea Divers of Jeju that I picked up from BoardGameCon. It's a mini expansion. It has 2 playable expansions in it that change gameplay slightly, as well as some new player boards that are dry erase. So I might just first of all show you the difference. So this is what the original sheets look like. So it was paper and it was pencil and paper that you used. So if you have a look, the orientation has changed slightly. So the main changes that they've made is to move this scoring down to the bottom of this board. And then the only other changes I can say that they've made is instead of it just being eggs across the top here that you then circle, eggs across the top here that you circle and then cross out, because it's dry erase, they've just got the spot for you to cross it out and then you can erase it with the dry erase marker. The other change, I think, to make it a little bit clearer is to the scoring of the pearls. So in this version, the pearls, you would just count the score furthest along that you've checked off. So if you got up to here, you'd be 60. What they've done, I think they've tried to make it a little bit easier to understand. So you would add up all of these. So it's the same score. So if you get to the 4th one, it's still 60. It's just you add it up now instead of it being like this. I think that there must have been some confusion maybe that with people adding these up, which would probably cause a bit of imbalance. So that is these. The other parts of the expansion, so it comes with whiteboard markers, a rule book. This one here, this expansion are event cards. And I believe I haven't used this yet, but I believe they go on the side of the board and you'll place them at the level. So this would go at level 2 and 3. And this one provides additional resources that can be collected. There's some so this just additional trash that can be collected. There are some, I think, that prevent you from being able to collect specific types from that level. And then I'm not 100% sure what these ones are. Maybe if there's multiple divers, everyone gets an egg. I don't know. But if there's okay, maybe it's if you're connected all the way to the top, everyone that's on that level gets an egg. but if you're not connected, you might get something. So that's my understanding. I do need to have a little look though to see how this works, because I haven't actually looked into it too much, but that's that one. Just cutting in here, I did just check it properly, and how it works is, so there's 3 different types of event cards. So this one that shows this bubble at the top, you do place, so hang on, let's grab this. You do place it on the board next to the level that it's at. And if you go to that level, so in this instance, there'd be additional. So I haven't got these other pieces in, but there'd be additional things that you could collect. This one means that you can collect any trash that you would like. But then there's ones that if you go to this level, you can't collect this particular items there, but you can collect other types. So, and then this one, if you are a diver at this level, you get a bonus egg, and this one here gives you a bonus item if you're a diver that went to this level. So just so that one's pretty straightforward. The next one maybe isn't more straight. This is just like an instant one. So when the event comes up, each person can just choose one of the items on here and check it off on their board. And then the final one is end of round scoring. So each round, if you meet the requirement on the left, you get thing on the right. So in this situation, if you have a non-connected diver at this level, if you have a non-connected diver at all, you would get an egg. If you had 2 non-connected divers or 3, you would still only get 1 egg, because it's just the requirement is to meet that. If you collected a octopus this round, you would then get this one here. If you got trash this round, you'd get an egg. And if you got the sea urchin, you'd get the seaweed. So all pretty straightforward. I think it'd be pretty easy add to the game. I don't think it changes too much, this one. Yeah, that is the event card expansion to this. The one that I'm more excited about is this one here. So this changes, let me grab the actual board. So this is the board from the game. So level in the game, if you go to the 0 level, originally that's how you would get an additional diver. So you could go to the 3, and then you could collect resources and pearls spending eggs. In this new expansion, that gets replaced. And what happens is if multiple divers if only one diver goes to 0, that diver's going to get 2 eggs. If multiple divers go there, then you get 1 egg each. And so this is going to get people collecting more eggs. And then you would use this side of this board. And so how you get the additional diver now is that you need to collect 3 eggs, and then you'll automatically get it, and it gives you bonuses along here. So I think it just makes eggs a little bit more of a viable strategy in the game, and maybe taking some of the focus. So I'm interested to try that out. I think it's called the Turtle Egg expansion or something like that. Yeah, looking forward to trying these out. Haven't yet. Always happy with new expansions for games I love. So Hanyul, Sea Divers of Jeju, the mini expansion. So that's my board game haul from Seoul BoardGameCon 2026. Let me know in the comments if any of the games caught your eye, if there's any you plan to pick up or wish you could get. I'll see you in the next video.
But never bored. Every game played, every victory scored. For the win, lose, or glory. Let's tell those board game stories.